The Industry of Things event in Berlin on 18-19 September has given manufacturers the opportunity to exchange visions about disruptive technologies. The founder of IoT, Kevin Ashton, gave an emphatic introduction speech. Kevin Ashton is known for coining the term the Internet of Things. "The future is predictable," says Kevin Ashton, claiming himself as futurologist. "It always moves on from a ridiculous prediction in the beginning to a miraculous phenomenon, which lasts only for a few hours, till it turns into a monotonous technological habit. Only with sufficient understanding of how quickly the development hits us, it is possible to take advantage of it. And our imagination has to be quick too, because the pattern of the future tends to conceal itself." Technological development within the last 10 years has been moving so fast because its costs fell so rapidly, and the efficiency to get, for example, much more data on a radio wave transmitted than 10 years ago has increased drastically. Predicting the technological future regarding costs and efficiency is quite easy. The hard thing is to believe that it really happens. And only, Ashton says, if you believe it, you have an advantage over people who do not believe it. The first ever best practice example of IoT is an example of the first company who used IoT technologies. Ashton names the German manufacturer of offset printing presses, Heidelberger Druckmaschinen AG. Back in the days, the company used to send maintenance workers in trucks to printing machines which would not work properly. But as soon as the internet started, Heidelberger realized that the same sensors its maintenance team used for diagnostics could be connected directly to the internet. The company's first printers had a dialogue connection, and if a client had a problem, the printer could be plugged into a phone line and upload a little bit of data to the maintenance team, which could figure out why the printer did not work properly. That was back in the 90s. But because that maintenance approach was so successful, Heidelberger implemented thousands of Internet of Things enabled sensors, and much of its business model now depends on its data. As well as this, Heidelberger established a consultant arm which started analyzing data from different customers, comparing these and telling clients how they could better make use of their machines. Ashton underlines that Heidelberger is a perfect example of a company using the Internet of Things to actually help its customers and improve the client's business, instead of using and collecting data for their own profit. Heidelberger added value to its services through IoT and increased its market share, which is a nice example of what IoT really is and should be. The added value service aspect of IoT turns out to be its main benefit, which most of the speakers during the event in the Congress Center in Berlin underlined. IoT is not an end in itself, and it does not rely on data created by people. IoT, structure and software. The general point is, real-time data cannot come through a keyboard handled by a human being. IoT takes answers through GPS, cameras, etc. It is important that IoT works only with senses taken from the real world, which are then put onto a network and streamed into some kind of decision-making software. The key point, Ashton emphasizes, is that data itself does not mean anything. For intelligent database decision-making, software is needed. This leads to the interesting fact that data is not only reflecting, but changing the world, and of course businesses. Ashton said he was often asked, when does the Internet of Things really start to happen, and he always answered that the best example is the so-called mobile phone in our pockets, which in fact is less a phone than a collection of apps enabled by the Internet of Things. The installed camera on the dictaphone can do amazing things, following the steps of sensing, deciding, acting. These three elements are the core of any IoT technology. The camera inspires Ashton to mention one of the latest innovations, enabled by photosensors collecting data in the process of manufacturing, the Subots, robots which can make a shirt quicker and cheaper than ever before. Ashton explains that the labor costs of a shirt in the US is currently $7.47, and in Bangladesh 22 cents. A Subot in the US can manufacture a shirt for 33 cents, replacing 17 people. Regarding the horrible labor conditions under which clothes are manufactured in Bangladesh, IoT might have the potential, as Ashton states optimistically, to make the world really a better place. Speakers in Berlin were among others CEOs, directors, managers, scientists from VW, Bosch, Volvo, Lego, Opel, ZF Friedrichshafen or Pfizer.